Second Timothy chapter 3 verse 1. This is also that in the last days perilous times should come. Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakakadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone, preaching His word, truthfully and sincerely. Shalom to Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching His word, truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to Akim, that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word, truthfully and sincerely. And I say shalom to you, Akim, out there. And this is a sit-down lesson through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Yahushua on this June the 12th, 2022 at 5 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on this Sunday afternoon. And this is a quick sit-down lesson through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Yahushua as I brought out 2 Timothy 3 and 1, In the last days, perilous times shall come, and we are living in those times, And this is a news article that I just looked up, and I was doing a lesson on it. And this was posted on June the 12th, 2022. So this article was recently, and it was posted at 2:58 p.m. Eastern Time. And this was published by Claudia Dominguez, I believe I pronounced her name right. And this is from CNN News, and the highlight of this news article, and it reads, Georgia man kills daughter than himself after fatally shooting baby's mother and injuring grandmother as well too. And it says, a man fatally shot his infant daughter before killing himself in Georgia on Sunday morning after kidnapping the baby from her mother, according to the police. Darren Bennett also shot and killed the baby's mother and injuring the baby's grandmother before gunfire at their home of Compton in Culverton, if I pronounced that right. Right, and this is in Georgia. Saturday night, Sergeant Jack from the Newton Sheriff told the CNN the Georgia officials told investigation of GBI identified the infant as Jaquari Bennett. Authorities have not yet identified the baby's mother or grandmother. Police received a 911 call shortly after 11:30 p.m. on Saturday about an individual who was shot in the area. Said officers encountered two unidentified juveniles aged 11 and 12. Once they arrived at the location, when the officer entered the home, they found a woman's deceased body and the older woman with multiple gunshot wounds. The older woman was taken to a hospital. Right to the hospital by helicopter, and is in critical condition. The two women who were found at the home were later identified as Jaquari's mother and grandmother, according to the Red Linger. Darian Bennett was the one that shot the baby's mother and took the baby with him. After the scene, he added, an Amber Alert was issued by the GBI on behalf of the Newton County Sheriff for a missing toddler. On Sunday morning, Riverdale received a call from a man saying he was going to take his own life. Red, Red Lendiger said officers were able to track where they called from. Where the call came from and located the vehicle in a parking lot of a church and started searching for the man. When they heard gunshots coming from the church, he added. Officers went to the search gas bowl area of the church in Riverdale. Red Langer says they found the man later identified as Bennett as Jaquari's both deceased from the gunshot wounds. The GBI also confirmed the deaths of Bennett and Jaquari in a post on their Facebook page. So yeah, these are just prime examples of more potential cases gonna be like this in these last days, with these murder-suicide rates and these isolated relationships. And then the love of many shall wax cold, and there are spirits that are created for vengeance. So, roughly paraphrasing those scriptures, as I mentioned, it relates to cases like this, And I'm going to bring out a scripture about the love of many shall wax cold as well, too. And so, yeah, you're going to see more of people just waxing worse towards one another, and it's definitely going to increase in the last days because these are perilous times that we're living in, This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 12 through the Holy Scriptures, and it reads, verse 12 in the book of Matthew, and because iniquity shall abound, right, the increase of danger of iniquity shall increase even more and more these last days, And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, right? Because the love of many is going to wax cold even more and more in these last days. Wickedness is going to increase at an all-time high. The love of many shall wax cold is going to furthermore increase. Even though we're so accustomed of hearing these things as so used to hearing, but it's going to increase more and more and more, I believe 2 days ago, like that, another prime example of the love of many shall wax cold. I believe it was a 21-year-old worker over there in I forgot it was like some type of steel plant area where the 21-year-old was working there, and he shot and killed his 3 co-workers. So I think he was working a full-time shift. So he got off his full-time shift, so he went to his car, grabbed the firearm, and went back to the work site where he worked at, and he opened fire and killed like 3 people and injuring others, And he was injured on the scene too after a speed chase. After he left from the scene, he was firing shots at the I believe it was in Maryland. Yeah, Maryland. Yeah, that was like 2 days ago. Yeah, so these are just more prime examples of the love of many shall wax cold world more and more, And then the 2 Timothy's, in the last days, perilous times shall come, And these are the signs of times that we are living in, Bring out the Ecclesiastes 39 and 28. And then I'm going to close out the sit-down lesson for today. So yeah, man, you're going to see more of these cases like this. And it's starting being more frequently now because it's starting to increase, especially throughout the years. You've been seeing a lot of cases of relationships turn cold, turn all the wrong ways, and it don't turn out for the best, and the relationships turn sour, and that's why you've been seeing an increase of these murder-suicides lately, and it's going to increase more and more because these are the signs of the times that we are living in, And this is the book of Ecclesiastes. I mean, it's kind of messed up that things like this are happening, but according to the Holy Scriptures, you're gonna see more of these things increase in these last days. Because we are living in perilous times. According to the Holy Scriptures. I'm gonna bring the scripture out right here. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 39, verse 28. In verse 28 in the book of Ecclesiastes, and it reads through the Holy Scriptures. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, and their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force in the peace of the wrath of him that made it. Right, because you're going to see these more and more increase of these spirits that are created for vengeance. And I read 2 articles. It was in 2 different cities. You've been seeing the increase of these party shootings, these house party shootings, even though these are typical and normal of hearing on an everyday basis of these such events might happen. You've been seeing nightclub shootings increasing, bar shootings. The spirit of creating for vengeance are increasing at an all-time rate. The violence have exceedingly increased in these last days. Lawlessness, the love of many waxing cold more and more and more. And the perilous times are increasing even more than ever in these last days. So, hey, it's gonna get crazy out here in these last days because it's been increasing violence have been exceeding even more and more in these last days. So with that, I hope this was edifying through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Yahushua. And first and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakakadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone, preaching his word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the 4 corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the 4 corners of the globe, that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching his word truthfully and sincerely. And until next time, I will say shalom and above.